guys, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be starting a new series that I'm hopefully going to be making a few videos in over the next few months. And that is continuing series that I'm in the middle of, or finishing series that I'm in the middle of. So I did some calculations and I'm currently in the middle of like a certain amount of series, but I'm only counting, at least in this series that I want to finish. There are some books that I've read the first, the second books that I just know that I don't want to continue. Like I didn't enjoy the book, so I'm not counting those because I'm not going to finish the series. So for series that I enjoy, ones that I want to finish, I am in the middle of 8 series right now. I will put them up on the screen so that you can see all of them. And yeah, this series is just going to be about finishing all of these. I hate being in the middle. I don't hate being in the middle of series, but a lot of these series, I read the first or second books, however many, books there are in the series. I've read the first one or the first few like a really long time ago, and we're getting to the point to where I want to finish the series, but I'm starting to forget what happened in those first few books. So I want to finish the series, get it over with, and just like complete my collection. So that's what we're going to be doing in these next few videos. They're not going to be back-to-back videos. They're going to be spaced out over a few months, but the series that we're going to be starting with in this video, drum roll please, is the Caraval series. So I read Caraval last year. I don't even remember what month, but it's been a long time and I really enjoyed the book. I want to finish it. I really want to get to the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, which is in the same universe as Caraval. And I know that you don't have to finish Caraval to read that series technically, but I enjoyed Caraval, so I want to finish it. So I ended up ordering Legendary and Finale, which is up on my shelf right now, but these are the last 2 books in the Caraval series. There was a holiday novella that came out a few months ago called Spectacular. I don't know if I'm going to include that in the series because it's not necessary and it's just a little novella. We might do it, we'll see. So we're going to be finishing the last 2 main books in the series, which is Legendary and Finale. I have not started this yet, but I'm really excited to. I feel like I am getting to the point to where I have forgotten a little bit about what happened in Caraval, so I did look up last night like a recap of the first book, and I think that I have a pretty good understanding of it. The ending was just a little bit fuzzy to me, but I remember like the whole aspect of the game and everything, so we're going to be going into this. I think this cover is absolutely beautiful. I don't want to get up and get Finale right now, but I'll show y'all that when we read it after this book. This one is kind of thick. I think it's the thickest one, maybe Finale's thicker. I'm not sure, but we're just gonna jump right into this. I'm really excited to get into it. I'll probably only update y'all like 2 or 3 times for each book so that this video is not an hour long, but enough rambling. We're just gonna get right into this. It's been a few hours, probably like 2 or 3 since I last talked to y'all, and I've made it all the way to page 160. I don't know if y'all can tell. Let me get like a random page, but like the text is so like spaced out, and I feel like the page layout, there's just like not a lot of text on each page, and some chapters have a lot of stuff like this in it, so it's like more so pictures and you just like read it really fast. So I feel like I'm speeding through this book, but oh, my bookmark fell in, but yeah, I may be like almost halfway there because when books like the last like this much of the book at the end, like this is the acknowledgements, and this is where it has like samples of the last book in the series, so that's a good chunk of book that like is not stuff that I'm actually gonna have to read. So what I'm trying to get at is that I feel like I'm reading this really, really fast and I'm enjoying it. I really am. It's very, very YA, but we just met Jax recently, which I don't want to say too much about him because I don't want to give out spoilers, but I have heard a lot about Jax. I'm pretty sure he's a main character in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, and I know that Sarah really liked Jax. He's not really a good guy in the book right now, and there were some plot twists on like who he was and like if we'd already met him before. So I'm happy that I'm finally getting to learn a little bit more about him because he's just this character that I've heard about for years now. It was a little bit confusing, not gonna lie, in the very, very beginning, just from like picking up from where like Caraval left off, and I haven't read Caraval in so long. But I actually went back and not like reread, but I skimmed through the last few chapters of Caraval just to kind of see what happened, you know? But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Pretty good so far. It's just very YA, which is not what I usually like to read, but I'm enjoying it. I like the world, and I really like Stephanie Garber's writing. It's really good. I am eating this book up, you guys. It is so unbelievably good. So I'm on page 301, and yeah, I just cannot put this book down. Every time I start reading, I just don't want to stop. So this book is in Tella's point of view. The first book was in Scarlett's point of view. Scarlett and Tella are sisters. They're like the main characters of the series, but I think I'm enjoying Tella's point of view more than Scarlett's, honestly. I just love the flow of this book and the writing and everything that's going on. So Scarlett is basically on a few missions in this book. She's playing Caraval for real this year, and it's taking place on an island around Elentine's Eve, which is this festival that goes on for the queen or the ruler or whatever she is. I don't know what her title is, but it's like a big festival that goes on. And so Caraval's kind of like themed around that festival. Scarlett's not playing, so Tella's on her own. She has reason to believe that her mother, who disappeared years ago, is alive, and she's kind of learned some more about her mother's past, and so she's looking for her now. And she's also trying to just win the Caraval game in general, because Jax, who is her fake, not spouse, fiance, I don't want to go into too much detail about him in case any of y'all haven't read the books yet and you want to, but Jax basically wants Legend, and so he cursed Tella and said, if you don't win the game and bring me Legend by the end of the week, then you're gonna die. So Scarlett's looking for her mom and Legend, basically, and I'm kind of mad at myself because I spoiled who Legend was. I was looking up information about a character and I found out that they were Legend, so kind of mad at myself about that, but I feel like it was also kind of easy to guess, so not like too upset, but like kind of upset. Yeah, I'm just interested to learn more about Jax because he's obviously a new character. He wasn't in the first book, and he is, no, I can't say that. I don't want to make this crazy. I don't want to say any crazy spoilers, but I forgot to mention that in this world there's these things called the Fates, and it's like these gods or something, but they were banished by a witch, and so now they're trapped in the Deck of Destiny, which Tella found out that their mother who disappeared had that Deck of Destiny, and all the Fates are trapped in there, and so it's kind of like another big theme of what's going on. I don't know, I don't want to give away too much, but I'm absolutely loving it, and I want to finish it tonight. So I'm gonna go eat some food, take a shower, and then we're gonna keep reading. Okay guys, I just got out of the shower, but I got out of the shower and I only had like 2 chapters left of Legendary, so I got out and immediately started reading again because I am in love with this book. I'm not even gonna lie, like this is such a good book. I liked it way more than the first one, and the ending was just, everything came together perfectly. But seriously, like I ate this book up. I could not put it down. I flew through this. It was just so unbelievably good. I don't know which characters I'm supposed to like or dislike. Like, am I supposed to like Dante? Am I supposed to like Jax? The thing about Jax is that he obviously was like the villain at first, and he still may be. I don't know what's gonna happen with his character, but he definitely, it was one of those, like, you start to see the soft side of like the villain, you know? And that is like one of my favorite tropes, is when the villain starts to turn soft for someone, and that's exactly how Jack ended up being with, I almost said Scarlett, with Tella. And so I don't know, I think I like Jax, even though he's still maybe technically the villain, but I'm gonna give this book 4 stars. I genuinely just absolutely loved it, and I cannot wait to go into finale. So that's actually what we're doing. I have the book right here, and we're gonna jump right into this. I'm guessing this is gonna pick up right where Legendary left off. Legendary left off at a really good point, so it would make sense for this to pick up right where that left off. These books are like pretty much the exact same thickness. Finale may be like a hair thicker, but either way, I should fly through finale too. I'm hoping that it's just as good. But yeah, we're gonna get right into this. I feel like I don't even really need to read the synopsis. There's not even one on the back, or where is the synopsis for this? I don't know, but we're gonna jump right into this and I'll give y'all an update in a little bit. I am on page 435. I literally have this much left, so I am so close to being done. And I definitely don't like this book as much as Legendary. I think Legendary is my favorite book in the series, at least so far. But I've heard that the ending to this book is crazy, so I'm sure everything's like about to start getting wild since like I said, I only have this much left. I think I only have like 30 or 40 pages, so we're getting very, very close. Hello everyone, I just finished reading Finale. I think the last time I talked to y'all was probably like an hour ago, where I just had like a few pages left, and I just finished it. And right off the bat, I know that I did not enjoy this book as much as Legendary. Legendary was definitely my favorite out of the trilogy. I feel like the ending also was not as crazy as I thought it was going to be. I feel like a few of the book girlies that I follow on Goodreads all posted that the ending was wild, and it did not like hit for me like I thought it was going to. I mean, it definitely did have some crazy stuff happen at the end, but not how I was expecting. Like, I was expecting my heart to start beating, like something just absolutely mind-blowing going on, but that's not what happened. I feel like I didn't talk about this book as much as whenever I was reading Legendary, but this whole book was based around just trying to defeat the fates. So there's fates, which are people, and then there's fated objects and fated places, and obviously fated people, and they're all just these magical things. And the fates, most of the fates, pretty much all of the fates are bad. There's ones that can turn people to stone, ones that can like control people's emotions, just lots of different ones, and a majority of them are bad. You do get a few good ones here and there that we learn that we can probably trust. They end up like helping the sisters and stuff, so there are a few maybe good ones, but I don't understand how this series is ending. I feel like there were so many things that went unanswered, and I don't know if like some of this stuff goes on in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but like what is going on with Jax, you know? Like, I don't want to spoil anything, but with the way that it ended with Tella and Legend, I'm just like, where did Jax go? Like, what is he doing? I need to know what's going on with him and Tella, because I genuinely thought that Jax was a love interest, which he kind of was in this book, but like not really. So I need to know. But overall, I think that I'm going to give this book honestly a 3.75 or a 4 stars. I honestly need to think on it a little bit longer, but it's going to be one of those ratings. It was still really good, just not as good as Legendary. Now, I don't know if I should consider this series done or if I want to read Spectacular. I do not have Spectacular right now, so I cannot read it. But I feel like I'm going to consider this series being done. Spectacular just came out a few months ago, and it's just a holiday novella. It's not something that needs to be read to understand the series. Like, these books have been out for years and years, and Spectacular just came out. Like, it's just one of those things that the author put out years after the series was finished. I just don't know if I'm going to read it, and if I do, it's not going to be right now. Just in the future, if I happen to get bored and want to read it, I will. But I don't even think you can get the paperback version of Spectacular. I'm honestly not sure. For right now, I think I'm going to consider, for me, the Caraval series done, because I just don't know if I'm going to read Spectacular. So I'm sad to be ending this series, but I'm really excited to hopefully read Once Upon a Broken Heart soon. We will not be reading that in this video, because that is technically a new series that we'd have to start, and we're doing this video to finish series I'm currently in the middle of. So the next series I'm going to be finishing is the Folk of the Air series, which is the Cruel Prince series. I have one more book left in this series to read, and that is The Queen of Nothing. I don't have the book right now. I'm going to have to overnight it on Amazon, so it gets here tomorrow. I think I'm going to have a lot of trouble with this series, because what's weird is I read Caraval before I read the Cruel Prince books, and yet I remembered more about this book in this series than I do with The Cruel Prince, even though I read 2 of the Cruel Prince books just like 6 months ago. So I'm gonna have to look at recaps for the first book, which is The Cruel Prince, and then I also read The Wicked King, which is the second book. So I'm gonna have to do a recap and figure out what happened. Like, I have like a small memory of what was going on, but not a lot. But I know that I really liked this series, so I just want to finish it. There's literally 1 more book to read, so I'm going to overnight that on Amazon, and then I will talk to y'all tomorrow once the book gets here. Okay guys, it's the next day from when I last talked to y'all, and The Queen of Nothing just came in the mail. I'm so excited to get started with this. It is such a pretty book, and I honestly thought it was going to be longer than, or like thicker than this. I don't know why I thought that this book was way thicker than the rest, but this honestly looks smaller than the Cruel Prince and The Wicked King. Like, this looks like the smallest book. Either way, it's so pretty. I'm so in love. And I think this is going to be the final book of the video. So I need to look up a recap of The Cruel Prince and The Wicked King because I don't fully remember what happened in those books. I know that I really enjoyed the series when I read it. Like, I'm pretty sure I almost rated each book 5 stars. And that's kind of crazy, right? That I can't entirely remember what happened. Like, I do remember what the whole story's about, but I just like need a refresh because it's been like 6 months. So I'm just rambling. I'm gonna go look up a refresh of what happened. We're gonna start this and I'll talk to y'all in a little bit with an update. Hi guys, it's been a few days since I've last talked to y'all, and I have completely forgotten to update y'all on where I'm at in this book. So I'm on page 139, which is chapter 16. I'm like almost halfway through the book. Going into this book, I was really worried about not understanding what was going on because I think I mentioned, like, although I loved this world and I remember really loving the first 2 books, I just like could not remember everything that had happened. I didn't remember what happened in like at the end of the second book. So like I was just really, I needed to look at a recap before I went into this book, and I did look up a recap, but it honestly was not that helpful. I looked at like multiple websites and I just like could not understand like what had happened. Like I don't know why. It's like I don't even remember reading the book. So it's definitely been a little bit difficult to get into this, kind of, but kind of not. I don't know how to explain it. Like I feel like I jumped right back into the story in that I absolutely love it. Like I love this world and I'm really enjoying reading about it, but I am like confused on a lot of things going on. Like they'll say something and I'm like, what does that mean? Like, are they referencing something in one of the past books? And like they'll say stuff and then I'm like, oh yeah, like I remember that did happen in the first or second book. So like things are coming back to me as they're being said, but it's still just a little bit difficult, and I'm really upset with myself for not just reading this book after I read the first and the second. I feel like I would have enjoyed this book so much more. Not that I'm not enjoying it. I'm really enjoying it. It just is taking me longer to read. And this book is only like 310 pages, so it should not take me that long. I don't know why my shoulder is hurting so bad. I have to like stretch it out. But yeah, I wish that I had read this like months ago. But I'm still enjoying it. I just need to like push through and finish it. I just like, it's one of those books to where I will read a chapter and then want to get on my phone, and then I read a chapter and then I want to get on my phone. So that's just a little bit annoying, but overall I'm really enjoying it, and I'm excited to finish it. It is probably so dark in here. I hope the TV is giving like a little bit of a glow, but it is so gloomy out. But anyway, I ended up finishing The Queen of Nothing a few days ago, or actually I finished it yesterday, and I genuinely am really sad because I feel like I just completely messed up my experience reading this book because I waited so long to read it, because I obviously looked at the recap of like what happened in the first 2 books, but I feel like if I had read this book right around the time that I was reading the first and second book, because I read the first and second back to back, and that was back in June of 2024. So I mean, it was like over 6 months ago that I read those, and then I read this, and I just feel like not remembering a lot of stuff really just like screwed up my experience, and I'm really sad about that. But I still really enjoyed the book. I love this world and I love the characters. It's nowhere near my favorite fantasy book, I'll say that, but, or like my favorite fantasy series, but I don't know, I was confused a lot of the time, and I feel like they were saying stuff that kind of went back to the first and second books, and I just like could not remember what was going on. And yeah, but I still understood the story. Like I know the whole gist of things, like the whole gist of the whole series, but I just feel like I screwed up by taking such a long break between the second and third book. So I think I'm going to give it a 3.5 stars because I still enjoyed it. I'd still recommend the series, but I just really like screwed myself over with how long I waited to read this book. I also feel like the ending was kind of cringy. Like the more that the book, like the more progress I made through the book, it just got to be a little like unbelievable. Like how Cardan turned into a giant snake and was just like slithering around. I don't know, that part was a little like cringy to me, and how she had to like slay him to bring him back to being a human. It was just a little too much for me, but overall 3.5 stars. I'm gonna stop rambling. I was under the impression that the Wicked King or the Cruel Prince series was just these 3 books. I honestly have no idea if How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories is a part of this series. I don't know. I know that like the Stolen Heir and like the Prisoner's Throne, I don't even know. I'm so confused, guys. But either way, I finished like the original trilogy, The Cruel Prince, Wicked King, and The Queen of Nothing. I finished those. So I think that we're technically good on this series. I need to look up if How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories is a part of this. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and consider the Caraval series done for now. We have finished the Caraval series. I personally don't care to read Spectacular until like if a paperback version comes out, because right now you can only, I think there's only like the hardcover holiday edition, and it just like will not match a single thing on my bookshelf. I know it's technically not that big of a deal that it won't like match everything, but I'm just saying, personally, my opinion, I do not care to get the book until like a paperback version gets released to like maybe match the series. So we're going to consider Caraval done because I have read the main books. All that's left is the holiday novella that just came out recently. So we're 1 series down and maybe 2 series down. I'm actually going to go look this up real quick. Okay, I just went and checked, and How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories is actually a part of this series. I don't know why I thought it was like an interconnected series, but it is a part of this. It is just like Spectacular. It's just a novella. It's not like technically necessary, but it is a part of the series. So I guess technically in this video I didn't finish a single series because we still have Spectacular and we still have the How the King of Elfhame Learned to Hate Stories. But I am very happy with the progress we made. We finished both series' main books, and all that's left is the novellas. So I feel pretty proud of the progress that we made in this video, and I'm excited to keep the episodes going. I'm like really, really excited for this little like mini series I'm doing. So I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure to like it if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you want to see more from my channel. I love you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video.